With the worldwide pandemic with regards to the COVID-19, I think it's most fitting that we discuss the impact of that on the employment relationship in South Africa, but more specific, the health and safety in the workplace. When the Disaster Management Act was signed by the President, the next thing that happened was that certain regulations were put in place. And one of those regulations that came into effect was the health and safety within the workplace. So certain regulations the company can't get away from. Employers must follow this. They've got no choice. And one of these regulations is they need to look at certain stuff. And one of these is a risk assessment. A company must conduct a risk assessment. They need to determine where the risks are within the building, around the employees, public coming in, customers, for instance, and that's where the risk assessment comes in. So there's a template you follow, you conduct a risk assessment, you keep a file together. So that is important, and it's important to note that these regulations must be followed before you reconvene work. One of the things that must be done by managers and by employers is that induction must be done. All employees must be informed about these new regulations. They must be informed about the impact of COVID-19, how it spreads, how it can be contained, what's best practices with regards to keeping hygiene within the workplace. Even though you see it every day on the news, even though the President spoke about it, even though other ministers spoke about it, you still must do that. You have no choice but to have this induction with the employees. Keep an attendance register where they sign it, and you know that every single employee received induction and they know exactly how to conduct themselves within the workplace. An important aspect of these new regulations is that a COVID manager must be appointed. So this is an employee or a management member of staff that's appointed as the COVID manager and ensures that everything is followed with regards to these regulations within the workplace. One of the things that employers must do when employees enter the workplace is screening. So that's where you take the temperature of employees, you ask some questions, you complete a form, and that goes in. That's every single day. One thing that is also important to remember is that when an employee shows symptoms, then you need to send that employee home, and that employee will be entitled to sick leave as described in the Basic Conditions of Employment Act. It's important to remember that it's your responsibility to keep these employees safe, as much as it's their responsibility, but once they come to the work, you need to adhere to these regulations. You need to consider the fact that maybe an employee may show symptoms through the course of the day. Then you need to have a designated area within the workplace for self-isolation. You must ensure the safe transportation of that employee to a testing facility. And when we say that, it's important to have an evacuation procedure in place. And that's where Danshaw Consulting comes in. We will assist you with this whole process. We don't only focus on the COVID-19, but that is the main focus at this point in time. We're going to assist you with everything with regards to health and safety in COVID-19, but post-COVID-19, we will continue with this process. This is a monthly service we assist you with. We make sure that your health and safety plan is in place. We make sure that all employees is well aware of the health and safety standards, policies and procedures that's in place, and the employees will really know what may happen if they do not follow these procedures. You may ask us, why is it important that Danshaw Consulting assist you with this health and safety process? And the answer is short. Department of Labour can instruct inspectors to do an inspection at your premises, and if you do not comply with these health and safety regulations, and more specifically with the COVID-19 health and safety regulations at this point in time, the Department of Labour can shut you down for trade for a couple of days until you have these regulations in place.